Who's there? I'm glad you're hanging around for a few days.
That's okay.
Mommy!
Maybe it's time we discuss making you more of a permanent fixture here.
Where's Mommy?
I'm allowed to see my children.
You need to see a professional.
I don't even know anything about her. She wants me out. That much I'm sure of.
Well, in that case, we better get you home before the evil witch puts a hex on your room.
It's here. Here it comes.
Noise, and everybody runs for cover. Like the noise, and everybody runs for cover. Noise, and everybody runs for cover.
Someone's been inside this house.
Noise, everybody runs for cover. Noise, like noise, everybody runs for cover.
Darling, every family has its demons.
Michael?
I think there's something under my bed. Daddy, I think there's something in my bed.
Boom, there you go. That was the trailer for Father of Flies, available now on video on demand, digital. It's everywhere, y'all. Go check it out, Father of Flies. And as you see on the screen, I have some special guests. I have the star Camilla Rutherford, as well as the writer, director Ben Charles Edwards. Hello, hello.
Hello.
And then also maybe having another guest soon. So stay tuned. We're not sure. Schedules are crazy, but we may have another Father of Flies special guest. But please welcome Camilla and Ben. Thank you both for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome.
No
Happy to be
problem.
here.
Awesome. So to kick it off, if I can start with you, Ben, since you are the writer behind this piece, where did this come from? Tell me how this germ of an idea sprouted into the Father of Flies.
Well, it came from my childhood. I grew up in two strands. I grew up in a house which I still believe to this day was haunted. And I came from, like most people of the 80s, children of the 80s, came from a broken home family with a stepmother bringing me up for the majority of it. And you fall into the kind of Disney trope of the evil stepmother. But it's a stereotype that needs challenging. Essentially, it was based on my childhood. In fact, I'm in Switzerland now with family. And the woman that it was based on is actually around. If you can see, I'm in the mountains here.
Beautiful.
There's a very scary dog
way.
there. She's actually the lady there in green, sat there. Camilla, in fact, plays her character.
That's amazing.
So that's where it comes from. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So you put together this script. You go into production. Tell me about getting that all together, and then finding your star to lead into the amazing Camilla Rutherford.
It was quite an easy process, really. I mean, when you write something, when you have it from that that acorn, so to speak, as you build it, as you build the story, as you build the characters, you already start to have people in mind. You already start to think, this is the kind of character, this is the kind of actor or actress that could suit the role. And then you find yourself, for example, with Camilla, I believe I kind of had Camilla in mind from quite an early stage, and we had a meeting in London about it, and Camilla was excited by the idea before we read the script. So then the script starts taking on a form which would suit the actor as well. So they kind of feed into one another eventually.
That's beautiful. So Camilla, you became aware of Father of Flies. What did you think about this role, and what did you want to bring to it?
Well, I just wanted to bring a believable side to her story, to Coral's story. I believed in her story, and I wanted people to be able to empathise with the difficulty of stepping in as an outsider into a family. And she fell in love with someone who already had 2 children, and she was optimistic, and she thought that she could take over and that love would prevail, and that she probably underestimated the responsibility and the size of the 2 other children's role into the world that she was walking into. And I really liked her story, and I really wanted to try out the genre of horror because it's a really interesting genre, because you want to make people scared, and that's a massive emotion. And how do you do it? And one way of doing it is just to play with ambiguity so that people don't know what they're looking at. And that's quite a scary concept. Is someone a good person, or are you trusting the wrong person? And I think that's a really interesting thing to play with as a character, because when you meet people ordinarily, I mean, you don't really know what they're like, and sometimes you get it wrong.
I completely agree. I'm an actor myself, so I love the playground that is horror when you dip into that genre. So let's talk about the filmmaking, putting this together. Was this done during the pandemic? And can you just both maybe share some set stories of the production?
It was done just before the pandemic, luckily, otherwise we would have run into more troubles. No, I mean, it was pretty smooth. We shot it on location, and some of it was in a studio in Tribeca, and some of it was on location in a town called Suffern, upstate in New York. And we kind of picked this remote house, as you can see in the movie. It's stuck in the woods. It was kind of scary, and there were a few strange occurrences on set. Even in fact, and there really was. And I don't know if Camilla had experience in the thing. I mean, one of the nights I had a house next door or close to the set house that we were staying in, myself and some of the other crew. And I drove up, it was full of snow. I drove up into the driveway one night, and there was this kind of broken down hut on the driveway next to the house. And it looked like there had been like a nest or a bed or something there. I thought, that's creepy. It looks like an animal's made a nest in there. Didn't think anything of it. It was pitch black. I kind of quickly locked the car door, went into the back door of the house, went to sleep. And it was snowing overnight, as you can see in the movie. It's full of snow. And I wake up in the morning and I'm in the bathroom brushing my teeth, and I look out towards the driveway in the car. And this is not a joke. There were footsteps out of that hut in the snow, and they came all the way up to the back door. They came all the way around the house. They came up to the windows of the house, and then they walked over the hill. So when I pulled up in the car that night, somebody was in the hut and watched me. And I've no idea who it was or what they were doing.
Wow.
There was a few other scary things that happened on set, and I think you attract it. Say again, Camilla.
I said life always imitates art. When you're on a film
It
set
does.
doing a story, just somehow the two merge.
It really does. Yeah.
Camilla, do you have anything to share from your on-set experience? What was it like working with Ben and the rest of the cast?
Oh, I loved it, and I thought the two children characters were just so perfectly cast, Paige and Keaton, and they just really instinctively understood their roles. Some young people are just so good because they just come without the baggage of disbelief, and they just believe, and that was really amazing. And working with Nicholas was a brilliant experience. He was a really great actor, and it was a great shame that he didn't get to see the film in the end. But he was a really truly great actor, and I had to wear a negligee and open-toed sandals running through snow, which was quite dramatic.
In minus 20 degrees snow, yeah.
Oh,
It's not an easy thing to ask a lady to wear wear a lace piece of negligee and run through the snow.
Strangely, it wasn't at the time, but still.
You know what, Camilla's right, and the characters, Keaton and Paige, who played the children, really did. I'm not a director that over directs, and I don't believe that if you have the right team there on set, if the script's as tight as you can get it, and if the actors are cast as well as you can imagine the vision at the end, I don't think there's a huge amount of space for notes unless they're really veering off the point of the scene. You know, a great actor comes on board, they understand the character. If they fit that, you know, every actor needs to find something within themselves that they can relate to the character. And in fact, Coral, the character that Camilla plays, was the one that I struggled with in my mind, thinking, how do you relate to this? Because, you know, for all intents and purposes, for the majority of the film, you're assuming one thing about her. How do you play such a role by keeping her motives and agenda on the fence for the entire movie, and the ambiguity of such a character? And I think, you know, that was done particularly well, and of course it needed to be, otherwise the entire movie wouldn't work.
I love it. I'm excited to watch it. I haven't had the chance, but I'm now super excited. And for everybody that's checking this out, it is available right now everywhere, y'all. Go check it out. Check out Ben and Camilla's amazing work on this. Ben, Camilla, I know you're on the journey of promoting this amazing film, but what else can we possibly maybe look forward to? I know you're again on the circuit. I know the focus is on Father of Flies, but I would like to also show love to just maybe anything else you have coming up, and or also if we could throw out those socials. So if anything, they could follow you all online and see what work you have coming up soon. Camilla, if I could go back to you first.
Well, I'm in that very tricky place that an actress ends up in sometimes, which is waiting to see what my next project will be. And I'm just waiting on something with everything crossed.
I know how that is.
Yeah, you know how it is as a fellow actor. And we do spend quite a lot of our time like that. But I suppose there's always something worse than waiting to see if something has worked, which is not waiting for anything at all. But at the moment, I'm waiting on two things, but I can't talk about them yet. But if you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm just by my own name, Camilla Rutherford. And if these things do work, I'll be posting them as soon as I can.
Well, I'm sending you all the good vibes, light, and energy.
Oh, thank you.
That's why I'm doing this right now, because, you know, we got to stay busy. So
that's it.
I love it. Well, good luck to you, Camilla. It's a pleasure meeting you.
And you.
Thank you. Ben Charles Edwards, what are you working on writing, putting together maybe another project with Camilla? Because I'm sure she would like it as well. You know, we want more gigs.
Last year, I made 3 movies in 1 year. And in fact, Camilla ended up in all of them. So I think it's safe to say that, in fact, Camilla, I'm going to be shooting a short next month that Yasmin and I need to talk to you about. So
Yes,
you're going to need to keep a few days free for that. And then I've just written another feature, which we're trying to slot into a schedule with a company that we work across with many movies. I've created a podcast that launches soon. I mean, my Instagram, Ben Charles Edwards, is probably the best place to look for these things. But essentially, I've set up a horror slate. I run the production at a large production company in the UK called Goldfinch, who were the producers of Father of Flies. And we're now specialising in elevated horror and genre movies of that type. So there's going to be a lot more that we've been working on in the last year that we begin shooting this fall. So there's a lot more to come, along with a horror podcast called 10 Minutes of Terror, which will be launching this summer, which is terrifying.
I'm excited. I will definitely be tuning in for that. Ben, thank you as well for coming through to talk about this film. Let's leave them out with why they should check out Father of Flies before we to close it out. Camilla, let me go back to you. Why should everybody see Father of Flies? It's out there right now, y'all. Right after you're done watching this, go check it out.
Well, on a deep level, because it's really good to want to sometimes question if things really are as they seem. And on a lighter level, because it's a lot of fun.
There we go. Ben, how about you?
Took the words out of my mouth. I think, you know, things are not always as they seem. And as as a lot of the press and the reviews have picked up, this film certainly keeps you on the fence until the very end. So if you like that kind of movie, the guessing games and the what the heck is going on, and you like to be scared, then great. And you know what? With our first premiere screening that we did, a lady in the audience wet her pants. So it is pretty scary. So for that reason alone, see if she just had incontinence issues or if it is scary.
Yeah, just check it out. See what you think.
I love it. Well, we want to also send a shout out to Paige Ruth, who was going to be our special guest. Unfortunately, she couldn't join us. But Paige, we miss you. We love you. Everybody, check out Paige Ruth. Check out Camilla Rutherford. And shout out to Ben Charles Edwards, the writer, director of Father of Flies. Available now, y'all, everywhere. Go check it out. We love y'all. NRW. I am Kuya P on the NRW. Nerds rule the world. Give us a follow. Give us all the love. And we're out.